Yeah, so I'm a hypocrite. Hey guys, Jim here from DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, and today we're going to talk about 5 games that I want to see on the PlayStation Classic. Everyone's been going nuts about this console since it's been announced, and so far 5 games have been announced, including Final Fantasy VII, Wild Arms, Jumping Flash, Ridge Racer Type 4, and Tekken 3. So when putting my list together, I wanted to keep it with games that were somewhat older, games that didn't need the analog sticks because they're not going to be included. So, let's start off with an all-time classic. PlayStation 1 was huge for establishing survival horror, and why not go with the granddaddy of them all, outside of Alone in the Dark, but you know what I mean. It's Resident Evil. Now, it'll probably have to be the vanilla version because this is the director's cut, includes analog control, but you could still put the aiming help inside the original Resident Evil and make it more playable. I would love to see this title on there. Sure, you can make an argument for Silent Hill, Dino Crisis, or Resident Evil 2, but for me, why not just give the people the one that started it all?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this.
Next game up's a game Brian's gonna hate me for, and that's Parappa the Rapper. This game is so fun. It's so charming. And hopefully, latency issues aside with the HDMI cable, if they can get it to work right, this would be such a fun addition. This game is just charm for days. Anyone who's played it typically tends to love it, so I can't think of a better rhythm title to put on here. And it's something different in general.
We go now, kick, punch, block.
Kick, punch, block! Kick, punch, block!
Chop, kick, block.
Chop, kick, block! Chop, kick, block!
Square's already going to be represented thanks to the inclusion of Final Fantasy VII, so why not put another game on there that you wouldn't expect? And let's go with Einhander. This is a great shooter. It's a 2.5 3D-ish looking game. It's got amazing soundtrack, great visuals, great gameplay, and it's just a game that you wouldn't expect to see on here. It's getting more expensive, so it'll be great for the collectors out there to give them a reason to want to pick up the Mini. And just to be honest with you, it's a game that some people do know of, but not enough do. And I think this would really help let the general public see a game that they probably missed out on back when the system was out. Sure, there can be some other shooters out there that would be a better representative on the system, but this is probably the one I'd go with. If you have a shooter you'd rather see, let us know in the comments below. My fourth game is going to be a game that I have so much nostalgia for. It's a really early title for the system, but it can be a little clunky and it probably won't make it on there, but let's go with Loaded. This is a great overhead run and gun with a soundtrack that just screams my childhood. I remember playing this first level over and over again as a kid because I didn't grow up with the PlayStation 1, but my friend did, and he had a demo disc that included the first level, and that was the one that I went to the most. Sure, it can be a little bit confusing. It doesn't have like pure strafing action, so it's definitely clunky. This would have been such a better game with dual analog control, but it isn't. So, what better game to represent the early days with the early controller than this? If you haven't played it yet, it's dirt cheap, so if you want to give it a shot, it's out there. My last game is going to be one of my favorite games from one of my favorite series of all time, Twisted Metal 2. The original Twisted Metal would maybe be a better representation, but this one just took everything that game did and did so much more with it. Sure, it also included analog control, but this plays perfectly fine just with the D-pad, so the controller coming with the classics should not be a problem. Besides that, it's a great looking game for its time. It's got an awesome soundtrack. It's got humor, it's got charm, great vehicular combat gameplay, and it's really replayable and it's so fun with friends. So for to represent the vehicular combat genre, I can't think of a better title. Sure, maybe there's some Vigilante 8 fans out there, but this would definitely be my pick. And it really always goes between this and Black is my favorite in the series, but Black's on the PlayStation 2. So this wins by default. Alright guys, that'll do it for my list. I tried to stay away from some of the more obvious picks like the Spyros, the Tomb Raiders, the Crash Bandicoots, the Symphony of the Nights, and the Metal Gear Solids of the world, though I will say Gran Turismo pretty much should be on here in some form. Anyway, that's my list. Let me know below, guys, what you guys think. Do you like my list? Do you have games that you think really should be on there? I know I didn't really include any RPGs, so I'm sure a ton of you have suggestions for that. As always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up below. If you haven't checked out any of our other stuff yet and you like this video, why not hit subscribe? Button's down here. Or right here. Also, why not check out some old videos as well? We have a ton of reviews out there, and of course, we're the home of the Power Hour podcast, also on iTunes. So, until next time, guys, cheers.